strictly from a business standpoint, we're doing everything wrong in terms of how to make money. If we were really in it to make money, what we would do is we would sell commercial hunts throughout the rest of the year and use those funds to supplement the veteran hunts. But then if we were to do that, then we would be truly a commercial hunting operation, and that sort of goes against our mission statement. We literally built this place from the ground up for disabled vets and wounded warriors. We run strictly on as a charity or a charitable organization. It started out, we were looking for a place relatively close by to just to hunt and fish and camp, shoot guns, ride four-wheelers, that sort of thing. So we bought the land as a family retreat, and then after a few years, the idea came to me. It kind of evolved from one hunting trip that I had with a friend of mine, and it's literally just kind of taken off from there. A guy that I served in the Marines with wanted to go turkey hunting one morning, and so I took him down, and he brought a neighbor, a friend of his, who was an avid turkey hunter and former guide. He used to run a guide service for disabled folks back in Georgia. And Greg is disabled himself. He was born without a forearm, his left forearm. I was really taken with his outdoor abilities and skill with turkey hunting. And we started talking about his guide service that he used to run. And I asked him, I said, have you ever had any disabled veterans? And he said, oh yeah, sure. And then about the time he said it is about the time the idea popped into my head. And he said, you ought to think about doing some hunts down here. And it was just almost this serendipitous, light bulb that went off into my head. I was like, I got it. I got a perfect idea for the lodge. And it's literally taken a life of its own from that point. It's really evolved into something that I initially had never dreamed of.
What is the population of America's disabled veterans?
I've read, and it's anywhere from 35 to 40,000, and that's recent. That's in the last 10 years. That's post 9/11. We've sort of learned the hard way, really, that a lot of these guys are really struggling emotionally and psychologically. Their injuries are almost secondary. They're dealing with a lot of issues such as sleep disorders, addiction to painkillers and narcotics, relationship issues, headaches, post-traumatic stress disorder, you name it. When they come to the lodge, it's a really nice, it's an emotional and psychological and physical getaway for them. It's a respite. And the problem with that is that in 2 or 3 days they have to go back to their life. We feel it almost as much as they do. It's almost sort of a depressing, almost a letdown. It's like, wow, I just experienced paradise for a few days, and now I'm back in the crap. What I envision is that years from now, we would like to, if things slow down in terms of getting fresh guys in, I'd like to have repeat customers come back. There's a guy here in town that came. He was one of our hunters last year, and he didn't get a deer, but I know that he would love to come back to the lodge. I talked to him. We're friends on Facebook, but I talk to him a couple of times a month, and I know he's just dying to come back. It was such a powerful experience for him, I think, and most of our guests, that they don't want to leave, first of all, and it sucks for us to have to let them leave and to know what they're going back to, making all these doctor's appointments, surgeries, rehab, physical therapy. We've had a couple of guys, have their wives, leave them after they've been to the ranch, and so we've had to, kind of deal with some of that. We had one guy, tried to commit suicide.
While there?
No. This is months after he visited us, and so he's back on the right track again. But we've maintained relationships, once they've left, and so I haven't solidified it in my mind yet, but I'd like to figure out a way to continue servicing our guests, the people who have actually come and stayed with us, and we've bonded with almost every one of them, and so it'd be nice to be able to do that in some fashion. Or the downside of our operation is that there's no shortage of wounded and disabled servicemen, and as long as we're in Afghanistan, there's going to continue to be. We're going to have we'll have a job, so to speak. It's sort of a catch-22 to say I hope that we're still in business 5 years from now doing what we're doing, but at the same time that would just have to mean that there's more guys getting injured. So the premise really of the Lodge is to teach these vets that there's healing powers in the outdoors. Sometimes all they need is just a push. They need a little nudge. They need a little guidance. They need someone to take them out and show them, hey, you can do this. Despite your injuries, despite your disabilities, you can do this. You don't necessarily need to have somebody take you out on a hunt for you to enjoy the healing properties and the therapeutic nature of being in the outdoors. And some of these guys have actually taken, they've started their own programs in their home state. They were inspired, but the thing is that sometimes people need that extra push. They might need a second visit to kind of keep those fires burning, inside. So we're looking at options